Alright, good morning everybody. Welcome to today's Microsoft Flight Simulator live stream. We are in the Beechcraft Bonanza G36, going from Shimojishima to Kikai, which is in Shimojishima, I believe, island. I apologize for the slight delay getting started this morning. I got up and made some pancakes for myself, and then didn't go quite according to plan right off the bat, but so just trying to get that done and get cleaned up and everything. So I do apologize. So we're gonna get in here, get the times changed so that we're in the. It's gonna be sunny, or at least the sun will be up while we're flying. But we're gonna leave the weather on. We're only going to go as high as 17,000 feet for the flight. So let's get in here and get all that going, and then we will be on our way. Hopefully everybody's doing well for Thursday, last Thursday of the year.
Shimojishima Tower Kenmore 237 at runway 35 ready for departure IFR to Romeo Juliet Kilo India.
Kenmore 237 altimeter tree 0.27 wind 025 foot 17. Cleared for takeoff runway 35.
Cleared for takeoff runway 35 Kenmore 237.
Alright, let's go ahead and get 3027. We gotta get that plugged in before we do anything else. And let's get our time changed. There we go, that should be sufficient. What's our altitude? What's our climb and maintain? 12,000. Ooh, wow. Okay. So let's get the flight director on. And okay, there's all that. So there's our nifty little plane here. I know I said the 208B, but I realized that we had already done at least 300 miles in the Grand Caravan already on a flight. So yeah, we won't. We were supposed to do this one and then we didn't, so I just changed the aircraft, but we kept the destination and our departure the same. Alright, let's get in the air. Oops, why? I feel like I'm all over the place. There we go. Nav.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
Oh, what? Why is this not climbing? Got the Now it should take over. There we go. Now we're on our way. Ugh. Okay, we're on our way.
Contact departure on 125.0. Good day.
125.0 for Kenworth 237.
Look at that takeoff, huh? Look at that.
Kenworth 237 is at 700 feet, climbing 12,000 feet.
Kenworth 237 departure altimeter 30.27. Continue to freeze.
Well, there's some good snorkeling, I would imagine, right there off that island. Adios, Shimojishima. You're on the way. I will take care of an admin thing real quick here. The channel. Chat. Reminder. There we are. Somebody's watching. Discard. Say hello. There's our plane. I think it seats 4 in the back there. Yeah, 4, because there's a little aisle between the pilot and the co-pilot there to get to the back. Little luggage storage area in the back there. Yeah, the pilot and co-pilot. There is a door. I think the only on the co-pilot side. Yeah. There's a door back there for the passengers to get in and out of. Anyway, so yeah, we're on our way. Tomorrow we will be starting our normal time-ish for our flight from Heathrow to New York. Now, there is a problem. I don't know that it's going to get resolved before tomorrow. I'm going to tinker with it today again. There's an issue with the Dreamliner. It does not, the altimeter to change your barometric pressures is not working correctly. So I put in a trouble ticket for it. It seems there's quite a few problems with the Dreamliner right now based on what I was reading in the forums. Not sure why that's happening, but it's happening. So we will try it and see. I'll try it again today and see if I can get it to work. If not, we're going to take the 747 instead. So that's the backup aircraft for the flight. If we have to do it that way. So fingers crossed that we can do the Dreamliner. Doesn't seem like it's much better than fly much quicker than the 747, but yeah, I was a bit surprised because I tried it a couple times and I was like, and I don't want to fly in sunny weather, because that's not very realistic, especially over the Atlantic. There's no way you're going to get calm blue skies over the Atlantic anywhere. You know, you may get bits of clear skies, but not generally. I wouldn't expect it to be clear the entire time and all that, so it just wouldn't seem very realistic. So we're gonna further that prop, just kind of back off of that a bit, and then we'll, there we go. Right. Let's check our lights here. I know there are lights. Need that. Although we could put the panel lights on, just on the off chance that we so our landing lights we can turn off. Sure that one's correct as well, just in case.
10237, contact Naha AFB Center on 123.9er. Good day.
Going to 123.9er, Kenmore 237. Naha AFB Center, Kenmore 237 is passing 6,900 feet, climbing 12,000 feet.
Kenmore 237, Naha AFB Center, altimeter 30.27, continue to breathe as planned.
Mm-hmm. Quiet in the chat today. Somebody's here watching and isn't saying anything. What's going on? Must be eating lunch or something, perhaps. So yeah, we should come in when we land at Kikai. Not sure which one is. It might be Kikai. we'll come in. We're going to go past the airport. The airport will be to our right. We're going to go past, do a lazy right into lineup. Now, I don't expect that the RNAV approach is going to, like, it's not going to lock in and the plane won't just guide itself right all the way in. But as soon as we're kind of lined up, I'll fly it in manually. We should come in right over kind of like a little harbor area. And also, I didn't know this until I looked last night, but I looked again when I was kind of setting things up and checking to make sure we had a good route. To the right of the airport, as we come in, on the right side of the runway there's a golf course, which I was kind of surprised to see. But I didn't know, but this is a very popular tourist destination in Japan, or where we're heading to right now. So it's pretty cool. So we're slowly climbing. I don't know that we're going to get all the way up to 17,000 feet. We probably will. This is our first Barker, and we're still at just barely at 8,000 feet. So, now I didn't know this, but here in this particular area, you change your altimeter reading to standard if you go above 14,000 feet. So I did look that up just to see if we would have to worry about that, and we do. If we do get up to 17,000, then we're going to have to go. I'll have to change the altimeter to standard, and then once we go back below, matter of fact, it was 3027, I think. Look, 3027. Okay, I just need to remember that, so that when we're coming in, we'll go with that, and then we'll get an updated reading once we're close to our destination there.
10 more 237, please expedite your climb 12,000 feet.
Wow.
10 more 237, contact Nalha AFB Center on 119.3. Good day.
Going to 119.3 Kenmore 237.
I guess we were supposed to be at that altitude by now.
8,200 feet, climbing 12,000 feet.
10 more 237, Naha AFB Center, altimeter 30.27, continue to freeze as planned.
That's a pretty cool little plane. It does have these visors in place you could pull those down to block out some sun, but they're not usable in the game, unfortunately. I think you could even swing it to the side if necessary, if the sun's on the side of you. pretty windy in Japan, apparently. I was looking at the weather last night just to kind of get an idea, and yeah, they've had some pretty high winds lately, it seems. Excuse me. Finally cracking almost at 11,000. All right, we're getting there. Let's see if we're going to cruise here, or a little bit closer. We might get told to go to 17,000 feet. Let's see what happens here any moment.
Kenmore 237, climb and maintain
There it
17,000
goes.
feet.
Climb and maintain 17,000 feet, Kenmore 237.
There it is. Don't know what else to say. Nobody's saying boo in the chat. Well, hello, Bex. How are you? I am fine. Is it you that's been lurking in the chat all this time? Or was it somebody else? Okay, a little chilly this morning. Good to hear. Glad to see you here. I think you're the only one, so you're the co-pilot. You're the only one who's said anything in the chat so far, so you get the co-pilot seat. Alright, so we gotta change our Yeah, I'm surprised, like nobody else is here. Haven't seen Mick in ages. Oh, maybe I feel like I've insulted people or something. Nobody's showing up or something. Got that all. Oh boy, we are really struggling now. Alright, let's dial back on the vertical climb, vertical speed here. Get this thing to stay on the button. Yeah, it has been. Yeah, I haven't seen you in the chat in like forever. Dang, what did I do? That wind is really got us pointed all kinds of different ways. Look at that. Wow. I think I'm going to ask for 16,000 feet because I think that's reasonable.
Naha AFB Center Kenmore 237. Request 16,000 feet.
Kenmore 237, climb and maintain 16,000 feet.
Climb and maintain 16,000 feet Kenmore 237.
There we go. Yeah, guess so.
Kenmore 237, you are 300 feet above your assigned altitude. Descend and maintain 16,000 feet altimeter, tree 0.28.
Descend and maintain 16,000 feet Kenmore 237.
It's interesting because it said $14,000 was our transition altitude. That's really strange. Alright, well, guess that was wrong. Well, at least I have somebody in the chat, I guess. Man, I feel like I don't know. Thought this would be at least an interesting enough flight that people would come in and check it out, but I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. So yeah, tomorrow long haul flight in the it's probably going to be the 747. Matter of fact, I think we're just going to go with the 747. I think the problems with the Dreamliner is not going to be resolved between now and tomorrow, so yeah, we're just going to set it up for the 747. We'll do the startup, taxi out, and all that. Head towards JFK. It's going to be about 6. Yeah, I guess so, Bex, but it's hard to know, quite honestly, because I don't know when people show up. Yeah. Just what I wanted. A freaking coward posting porn crap in my chat. Yeah, I just never know, because nobody says anything, I guess. So I really don't know what to expect. Sometimes it's like there's a lot of people here, then it's like a ghost town. So, but it's fine. It is what it is. I just I don't even know if people are watching this on watching it after the fact, because there's no engagement, like nobody's posting any comment to say, oh, I watched it through, great flight, or anything like that. So it's hard to know what is really happening. I don't know what kind of engagement, so I don't know if people appreciate the flight, so they don't like it. I don't know. It's very difficult to know when nobody says anything. But anyways, it is what it is. Look at the wheel. It says we're headed towards that way, but look how crazy off track it seems like we are. That is just insane. All thanks to the good old wind. Let's do the camera thing and have a up close look at the plane while we're cruising along here. There we go. Up close and personal. There's your captain. That's me right there. Doesn't look like me though, but it'll do. Beacon lights. Oops. Another one up at the top of the tail here. Oops. Yep, right there. So there's the big doors that open in the back there for the passengers. Ooh, look at that. You even got a little table there. Ah, check that out. That looks pretty snazzy, huh? Look at that. There's our virtual co-pilot from the outside. Yeah. This thing doesn't look too bad. I mean, it seems pretty nice for a plane like this. You get, you know, yeah, you only get the 4 passengers, but you got that little table there for, I guess, if you want to play cards or whatever. You got your cup holders for your drinks, although we don't have any in-flight service, unfortunately. It's a bring your own beverage sort of thing. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. I didn't know that there was like a little table. That's I finally figured out how to use the little camera on the outside to do the showcase, so we can kind of zoom in and see the plane a little bit closer while we're flying. So yeah, pretty cool. We'll do that tomorrow too when we're in the 747. We'll zip around the plane, have a look up close, and all that. So, yeah. Then, yeah, there's another door here for the pilot and co-pilot to climb in. I don't think you could probably squeeze through. Be hard pressed to squeeze through the little space here. You probably knock your knee on the armrest there, or whatever that is, the center console thing, whatever's in there. There's airbags there. You could put your chocolate right in there, so it's easily accessible during the flight. Keep your chocolate handy right there next to you. So we're just going to cruise here for a little bit more, I think. Get a little bit closer, and then we'll start descending into Kikai. I think I'm pronouncing that correct. It's either Kikai or Kikai. Not sure which one. Might be Kaiki. I don't remember quite how I found this route. Where did I get the inspiration from? I forget. There is room. Yeah, I'm sure there is. You could put a couple big chocolate bars in there. Just make sure you eat them before we land, because we don't want them to melt and cause a mess. Chocolate all over the center console and getting on the floor and everything. The client may not like that. There's Some more of the circuit breakers and all that. Some over here, I believe, are those just regular switches. Let's have a look. Nope, that's more circuit breakers. That little speaker system right there. Look at that. That's what it looks like. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like as a speaker. Huh. Yeah, this plane's doing pretty darn good for this flight. I like it. Ready to run to the store as soon as we wrap the stream up and go get me some chocolate. One of the things that we're going to probably do in the new year as well, I was kind of looking at some different areas to fly. We're going to try a flight from the Philippines to an airport in Tokyo or in Japan. I think it was, I looked at Osaka or might have been Osaka. I was looking at it last night, just kind of getting an idea of some different places we can go, and so yeah, we got some flights planned. So yeah, this Saturday, don't forget, we go back to the Spitfire Saturday. This Saturday, our first one of the year. Yakima to Seattle. And then we're going to head over to the Star Wars Canyon in the F-14. And then we're going to land again over there at the Nellis Air Force Base there by Las Vegas. We may kind of buzz Las Vegas on our way. So, yeah. So do tune in for that. It should be fun. just about into our halfway point here. It's 200 something. I think we're almost at the halfway point, or close enough to it. So we're in the second half essentially. We should start soon. We should start seeing some reductions in altitude. I think at least one more marker after this, we should see our first lower altitude. Hopefully everybody has a good New Year. New Year's Eve tomorrow. Don't overdo it. Party responsibly, if there is such a thing. Alright, we're plugging along here. What would happen if I'd opened the window? I don't think you can. There's no latch or anything to you can engage to open it up. Let's see what things look like on our next marker here. There's Naha Airport. There is Tima Marine Corps Air Station. Kadena Air Base. Kadena Air Base. Should be the Japanese Air Force, I believe. Oh boy, that is. I think I know why. All right, we're gonna try. Probably because we're flying over those airports. Ah, come on. Hello, Amela. How are you? Welcome. Marines I used to know always said that getting stationed in Japan is like as a Marine is like your dream come true if you ever get an assignment there. Maybe if they ever get the F-18 kind of sorted a little bit better, we could do a flight from there somewhere else. I'm doing good. Yeah, a little chilly this morning still, but I'm all ready to go for as soon as we land. I'm gonna zip over to Walmart and get some snacks and food and whatnot for the flight tomorrow. Special weather statement in the area. It says areas of fog, some locally dense, will continue over the area through mid to late morning. Okay. So yeah, I gotta go get some food and stuff. Especially for tomorrow's flight, long flight. So I need some snacks to get me through. It's interesting they would ask us to climb, but I think it's because we're over Naha, the Marine Corps Air Base, the Marine Corps Air Station, and Kadena Air Base, which I believe is the Japanese Self-Defense Force Air Base. One of these days, so from here, I just gotta find Misawa Air Base, and then we could do an F-15 flight from here to Misawa. It probably wouldn't take very long. So, wow, look how crazy! Look at that! Look how we're flying. That is just insane. The wind is so strong. Look at how it's pushing us on our path. That's just insanity. Wow. We are just about at the operational ceiling of this plane. I think the highest can go is 18,500 feet is the recommended service ceiling, as they call it. So yeah, we are right at the edge of its limitations. I think as soon as we pass that marker there, we'll start. I'm going to start to descend and get lower, so we're set for our approach and everything. So yeah, it is a little bit foggy. I can't see. I always judge how bad it is depending on how far I can see. I can kind of see across town, kind of, to an extent. But if I can't see the hills with the radio towers with the red lights and all that, it's like I mean, you can still see a fair distance, but yeah, if you can't see that, it's a bit dense fog between here and there. So yeah. Yeah, it was like, yeah, the other day when I went for my appointment, I dressed warm, and I felt like at first when I walked out my apartment to go to the bus stop, it felt like it was a lot warmer than the AccuWeather app said it was. So I was like, oh, you bastards, you lied to me. So yeah, it was a bit crazy. So wow, look at we're getting pushed around. Look at that. Wow, that is some strong wind. Look, that's just insane. This is going to be an interesting landing. Yeah, like I walked out, I felt like I was like I dressed too warm. But, yeah, they are, Amilla. The only thing, wow, look at that. Look at that. Uh-oh, Betsy, you better put the chocolate away. We don't want it to go all over the cabin. Wow. This is insane. During the week, now, what I noticed, I don't know, because there's, during Monday through Friday, unless it's a holiday, there's somebody at there's a little kiosk at the bus junction. They answer questions.
Below your assigned altitude. Climb and maintain flight level 180, altimeter tree 0.27.
Okay. Well, if you don't tell me, then how am I supposed to know that the altimeter changed even the slightest? Oh, hold on a second. Let me get this dealt with, and I'll finish my commentary. So yeah, there's a little kiosk now. Generally, I feel there's a woman who works there. All the times I've ever been on the bus, she's usually the one that I see there the most, that kind of keeps things under control. The buses do not leave, you know, like during the week, nobody departs until she says buses depart, or the person who's working there. But like I said, generally it's been her. Now there's a guy that's been working, so I think they kind of trade off. But I've seen him more. Ooh, scrambled eggs. I was gonna say, did you have ketchup with those, or because you don't have any ketchup, do you, Bex? Hold on a second. I'm on the Xbox, Augie. I think it says that in the description of my channel. But yeah, that is, I'm on the Xbox Series S. But whenever, what I've noticed is that when she's not there, things do not run as smoothly otherwise. So it's kind of, but you know, the person still, you know, tells the buses.
600 feet below your assigned altitude.
Now it changed again.
Maintain flight level 180 altimeter tree 0.31.
Climb and maintain flight level 180 Kenmore 237.
Because I think she interacts better with the bus drivers. Like, they trust her more than this other guy that works there for whatever reason.
Kenmore 237, contact Naha AFB Center on 1 tree 2 decimal tree. Good
Wow. We passed them a while back ago.
132 decimal tree Kenmore 237. Naha AFB Center Kenmore 237 flight level 180.
Kenmore 237 Naha AFB Center altimeter tree 0.31 continue to humor as planned.
Why is it? Why didn't it take? It's still saying 3027. Okay. There we go. Now it's I just used the last bit. So yeah, otherwise
And maintain 16,000 feet.
there we go.
Descend and maintain 16,000 feet Kenmore 237.
But on the weekends, it's like anything goes. You never know when it's going to be on time. Sometimes they're a little bit early, sometimes they're late. You just never know what to expect on the weekend bus schedule there, Amilla. That's the only thing I don't like. Sundays is by far the worst. But the weekends overall are a bit suspect. You just never know. I don't know why it was not. Oh, there's the
Kenmore 237, please expedite your descent 16,000 feet.
I'm not trying to expedite anything in this wind. I don't think it would go very well. But yeah, and I'm sure it's the same there in the city of Mela. You know, like you've noticed with the folks working on the railroad, you know, Long Island and whatnot. You have no, well, it used to be, not so much anymore. There wasn't necessarily a rush hour. It was just before the pandemic, like when I was working at the community college, I would leave at a time where there was also students who were going to like the high school downtown, and so with their student ID, they don't pay. They can take the bus to get to school, so they don't have to wait for a school bus or.
And maintain flight level 180.
Oh no.
Climb and maintain flight level 180 Kenmore 237.
No, you're not going to tell me to. No, I'm not doing that. That's ridiculous. No. We're going to stay right here at 6,000, or I'm going to ask to go stay at 16,000
AFB
feet.
Center Kenmore 237. Request 14,000 feet.
Kenmore 4237 climb and maintain flight level 180 expected 8,000 feet.
Jesus.
Climb and maintain flight level
I
180.
don't understand the
14,000
numptiness
feet
now.
Kenmore 237.
That just doesn't make any sense. There we go with the stupidity again. But now it's the buses are very rarely, if ever, full. It's kind of hit and miss. Sometimes it will be a little bit full, but other times it depends on what time of day I go, because it's you know, like in the afternoon they go up the hill to the BOCES, which is like a adult education center, kind of like I think they have like the nursing assistant program up there and all that, so they got to go up there, because if they don't, God forbid if they forget, because they'll never hear the end of it. So that's the only major thing now that I think they have to really worry about. But you know, some students are taking the bus. Like there was a few yesterday morning when I was going downtown for my appointment, and it was kind of crazy. You know, there wasn't a lot of students, but yeah, it used to be that it would be a lot more people, but now I think more people are working from home. More people are or they have moved out of the area completely. You know, when they had the chance. You know, before things got, you know, changed again and all that, they may have relocated within the past year or so. Yeah, it's very difficult to kind of gauge, but there was never like most people either live close enough that they walk to work, or they, you know, a lot of people drive, because there is plenty of parking available. You know, most places have parking lots and whatnot, but yeah, it's like yesterday it was like a ghost town downtown. Like it was just very yeah, it was very weird. But yeah, it's definitely different. It's not the way it used to be, that's for sure. And again, some students may have graduated earlier this year, so they don't, you know, they may be going somewhere else for school. If they're going to university, they may have moved out of the area as well for that, or they're just sitting at home and not doing anything. It's kind of difficult to gauge it sometimes. Look how far. Look at that. That is just insane. The wind is so strong that we're flying at this angle to our waypoint. That's insanity. Good Lord. This is going to be a bit of a tough landing, I think, too. Especially if I'm going to have to hand fly it in. Well, I am going to step away for just a... Oop, I almost... Goodness. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Well, the other thing too is that there was right before. Right before COVID hit, the pandemic, whatever you want to call it, there was a revitalization plan that they had been working on that they felt would turn this area around. And it didn't, just when they were starting to plan on, I think, kind of getting that plan going, that's when the pandemic hit. And so it just, all those plans just right out the door. And it was bad enough, this area's had a huge opioid epidemic. Certainly before I moved up here in 2015, it you know, was kind of bubbling. No, I'm not expediting. What are you, crazy? No, we will get there. Don't worry about it. Goodness gracious, the ATC in this area is just acting all kinds of ridiculous today. So I think it was, you know, it's a problem that was brewing for quite some time, and then it just, you know, it exploded. And I think they, you know, that was part of the revitalization. They were going to get that epidemic kind of under control and you know, as much as they could within reason. But they, when the pandemic hit, oh my God, it's not like I'm in a fighter jet or a jetliner, you know. Screw it. Let's go. Nag, 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 nag. God almighty. But, you know, everything, when the pandemic hit, of course, there's all the things, the what do you call it? The ability for people to get help. All that just was, it was like it was canceled, and everything became about the pandemic, and which I think was smart, but it also I think it created a whole nother issue, being that now you have people who have this addiction problem and everything, and they just kind of got pushed to the wayside, whether it was addiction problems, mental health problems, all that just got, you know, it was no longer, you could no longer discuss it. You were no longer supposed to talk about all these these bigger issues that were happening prior to the pandemic. And what I noticed, you know, any of the times I did go downtown, there was ample evidence of substance abuse, whether it was drugs or alcohol. People were just being, I guess, for lack of a better term, they were being more open about it. They just didn't care that they were doing it in the open. You know, there'd be empty bottles. Sometimes you'd see the used needles and stuff. You know, but you didn't, if you weren't looking for it, or if you weren't like paying attention and really taking in the entire environment, it was easy to miss. And it was like there's this subtle, I don't know if it was subtle, I think that was people's way of saying they needed help, and there was no help to be had, because they, you know, everybody's like, well, the pandemic. Yeah, but I have these issues, I'm struggling. Well, but the pandemic, you know. And I still to this day feel that in the effort to deal with the pandemic, a lot of people kind of got pushed to the wayside, and I think have since just, they've given up hope. You know, they've lost, they don't care anymore. You know, and that's just how it is. You know, just the other day when I was downtown, I was walking by, there was like this broken bottle of I don't know if it was beer or if it was, hard alcohol, liquor, whatever you want to call it. And I was going to take a picture because I find that sort of stuff interesting. That people just are so frustrated that they just break the bottle and leave it where it is. They won't throw it in the trash. They just get so frustrated that they break the bottle on the sidewalk and then they walk away. Which I think is a really very interesting dynamic that is affecting people. This area is just, and I think, as time went on, people took whatever they could, money-wise, whatever they could get together, and they just left. And they're like, we're out of here. They were looking at other states, I think, and saying, I think I could do better somewhere else. It seems there's no way that this area is going to recover. I don't think I'd be hard pressed to see how this area is going to ever recover. It's only going to get worse, I think. There's a blatant disregard. Like the other day, I'm walking to the bus stop right near my apartment. I'm crossing the street. I only have to cross one intersection to get to the bus stop. And this guy came up the street from my left. I had hit the button. The walk sign had turned green. He didn't even remotely slow down. I had to step back up on the sidewalk, otherwise he would have hit me. And it wasn't like he even acknowledged and wave at me and go like, my bad, dude. It was like he just didn't give a shit and just kept on going. He did a boulevard stop, barely, and then left. And I'm like, wow. So there's this lack of regard for just treating even just basic dignity. I've seen people right out here running red lights, just not even giving a shit, just go right through. There's never a cop around to stop them and go like, is there an emergency or something? What's going on? Why did you run that red light? People just don't even care enough anymore. I see it over at the Walmart. There's a 4-way or a 3-way intersection. People will just cut each other off. Darn near getting into accidents, trying to either get into Walmart or get out of Walmart. It's just insane. And I've never seen something like this. And it's very concerning because there's just this sense of, there's no sense of community. Whatever there was, I think, is now gone. And, it's insane. But I think more and more people are leaving. There's very few people coming into the area. I think most people, when they find out about the area, if they're thinking about moving here for a job or something, it's insane. Like I couldn't believe it that this person darn near hit me, and then even, like, there was no acknowledgement on his part that he nearly hit, you know, that if I hadn't been paying attention to him, I would have been hit by a car. Because it was like he had no intention of slowing down. You know, I've never seen anything like this. It's just the craziest thing in the world. Alright, let's... Yeah, we're gonna have to...
Naha AFB Center Kenmore 237. Request 6,000 feet.
Kenmore 237 descend and maintain 6,000 feet.
Descend and maintain 6,000 feet Kenmore 237.
Yeah, they are, but it's just, it's gotten, it seems like it's gotten worse, Amela. That's the only way I can describe it, is there's just this sense of not caring, that you don't even care enough to acknowledge you nearly hit somebody, which should give you a moment of pause and go, like, maybe I need to calm down a moment. If you're going to be late, you're going to be late to work, whatever. Be late. There's no sense in either taking somebody's life through your own negligence, because, you know, once you get caught, you know, especially if you leave the scene, then you're looking at, you know, possibly vehicular manslaughter or something, or just, you know, just... Is it really worth taking the chance that you're going to end up going to prison because you were in such a rush that you couldn't even slow down and let somebody cross the sidewalk? Like, I started to step out, but he kept going, and I'm like, I'm not even taking the chance. He might clip me. You know, and people like that, they need to consider themselves lucky, because one of these days, somebody's going to be carrying a pistol or something, and when they do something like that, or they get ready to hit, you know, even accidentally, somebody's going to pull out a pistol and start shooting at them. Not that that's the solution either, but they're going to run into that person one of these days. It's just a matter of time. And they may think, oh, I'll get away. It'll be fine. Nobody will ever... Nope. Somebody at some point is going to say enough is enough, and they're going to start taking the law into their own hands. It's just a matter of time. I think people are... people are getting to that point now, and it's going to get ugly. And not... It's going to cause, you know... not that it's a good solution, but there's just, yeah, I think that's the next step now. People are so frustrated that when somebody cuts them off, when somebody nearly hits them, they're going to pull a pistol out and start going at it. And they're going to be like, screw it. If you don't have don't care about me, I certainly don't care about you, and I don't care about the repercussions. Because it used to be, especially during the school year, and I've not seen it so much even now that the schools are back in session, or, you know, even in the new year, it used to be this street, there was a lot of police presence in the morning, especially, because of the buses being out there. Well, but it's not that it should, Bex. It's just that there's, I think, unfortunately, yeah. That during the mornings, there was a larger, the local police and even some of the state police were here on the streets because people would sometimes in the rush would go around the bus even though you're supposed to stop behind the bus. Once it stops and a little stop sign comes out, you have to obey that. The only, I think, reasonable way around is if it's an ambulance or something, but they will tell the kids to stop, don't move. Ambulance would go around if it came to it, I think, and they would be fine. But the average citizen is supposed to stop, and if you don't, you get reported, or if there's a police right near there, they will pull you over and ticket you right away. But I've seen police around, but it's like they're just not, what are they doing? Just like I talked about the one person that was here earlier in the year that was being disruptive in the parking lot and seemed to be have a very threatening nature about them. Police didn't do anything. They talked to the person, got in their vehicles, and left. So does somebody have to get injured or killed before they do something? The guy was clearly unhinged and then sat there on a couch by the dumpster, and I'm like, that's not safe. That person has the air about them. They are not a safe person to be around. But nothing gets done. But yeah, I think that the people are there's a boiling point that people are reaching, that I think the next thing that's going to happen is that people are going to start packing, as they call it. They're at any moment they're going to but yeah, it's this lack of, there's no community anymore. It's just like it's almost like everybody feels it's everybody for themselves. And so well, hold on a second. Let me deal with that. I don't want to. I mean, everybody's got their opinions and whatnot, but I do. It's difficult, Augie, to know or to get a sense of what is actually happening versus what is being inflated by the media. And that's the difficult part as well. That if you are wondering about certain aspects, as far as people being against the vaccine, I mean, I don't even want to get into that because it's a very touchy subject for a lot of people. And I respect both sides of the viewpoint on it, but it's become such a contentious issue that I try to steer clear of it. No offense to you, but it's yeah, I try to avoid those topics mainly because if I have a differing viewpoint or whatever, then it may upset people, and I don't want to do that. I try to avoid the political commentary about those sorts of things because that's what it boils down to. It's kind of been lumped in with political commentary. So I will respectfully decline to comment. But it's, my only thing would be that it's difficult to know what is 100% facts and what is presented as facts that may not be the facts. That's the hard part in all this, I think. So, yeah, I'll leave it at that. Sorry. Yeah, I've learned that, you know, it's way more difficult sometimes to having a differing opinion or view, and it may drive people away. So yeah, I'd like to avoid that. Because I don't want this to turn into a political show or you know, it gets ugly and then, you know, so. As somebody, as we used to say in the military, when you, as a leader, you give somebody a tasking and they say they completed it, you trust them, but you verify that they do it. So there's nothing wrong with trusting the media, but verify what they're telling you. There we go. Yeah. Exactly, you hit the nail on the head. So, but I'll trust but verify. That's the good rule to follow. You know, try to take in as much information as you can to make the best, most informed decision that you can make. Anyways, wow, that got all. That conversation got a little heavy, rather unexpectedly. Yeah, I try to avoid that stuff because I don't want to alienate people from the channel or feel that their viewpoints aren't respected or whatever. Yeah, I just try to steer clear of it. Oh, looks like the sun is setting, kind of. Yep. We got enough sun up to get the flight done here. So, all right, we are on the. Let's go ahead and put our landing lights on. Matter of fact, we'll put the floodlight on too, just in case it starts to get dark. Or we lose a bit more of the sun as we come into Kikai, I think. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but may not see. So we're gonna. I think we're gonna deviate. We're gonna kind of go to the left a bit, and then we'll get ready to turn into our approach there. Kind of a nice colorful landing here. Look at that. Good deal. I like a nice little sunset landing. Oh, thank you, Amilla. Yeah, it's... There's enough there's enough divisiveness in the world today that I don't want to add to it. You know. And I don't want other people to add to it, you know. I don't want this channel to be about that. Like to have a nice, relaxing flying. Everybody can come in and relax, just take their minds off things, enjoy the scenery, enjoy the flying, enjoy the mistakes, because sometimes we make them. Try to learn from them. Kind of was dead at the beginning. It was like nobody was here, and all of a sudden now, in the latter half of the flight, all of a sudden, everybody wants to talk. Guess that's just the way it works. See what happens when we get to this marker here. We may go straight a little bit, and then we'll kind of track to the left just a bit, if I remember the flight plan correctly. So yeah, as soon as we hit the ground and park it, we'll wrap this up, call it a day. Back tomorrow, the long flight, 747 from Heathrow to JFK. Do appreciate the follow, Augie. I just noticed that.
Climb and maintain 17,000 feet. Expect RNAV runway 25 approach via motion transition. Cleared.
Why would I go to 17,000 feet if...
Climb and maintain 17,000 feet. Expect RNAV runway 25 approach via motion transition. Cleared to Mucha Kenmore 237.
No, we're not going to... We're just going to stay right here. We're just going to wait them out. Alright, so there we go. We're tracking to the left just a bit. That's the track, and then we're gonna go, and then we're gonna eventually turn into that marker there. That's the one that we're cleared to. So, man, look at these big clouds we're getting ready to fly into. Ooh, this is gonna be fun. Anywho.
Kenmore 237, please expedite your climb 17,000 feet.
No, we're just going to wait them out. Because eventually they'll give up on it. There's no way I'm going to climb to 17,000 and have to drop 14,000 feet back. Climb 11 to drop 14. No, not doing it. Nah. 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 That's just a matter of time before it'll tell us to go to 3,000 feet.
Kenmore 237.
There's no reason whatsoever this late into at this point in the flight that we need to go back up to our cruising altitude. I thought this was fixed, but apparently not. Something's changed. I don't know what it is, but we're back in the boat of idiotic ATC. I don't know what it is that is the problem, why it continues to do stuff like this. Watch. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. Watch this. I'm not going to expedite anything, but this is what I'm going to do. There we go. There's your expedited climb. That's what you're getting from me. I really don't know why this is happening. This is just...
10237, please expedite your climb 17,000 feet.
I can't imagine coming in for, you know, like we're basically getting ready to, we're in our approach phase. You know, why would it, I can't imagine unless it's where we would be preparing for a go around or something perhaps. Then you would want to climb higher in preparation for something like that maybe, but I think that's still, that's 100 feet too quick. Alright, let's check out the map range here. What's this? So basically, this is what we got left to do.
10237, please expedite your climb 17,000 feet.
And it probably will, it should be at some point here. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. We're just going to cruise right here.
Please expedite your climb 17,000 feet.
No. No, that's just... There's no live traffic. That's the thing, Augie. I've turned the live traffic off to try to alleviate this problem. It's just... This happens numerous times since I've turned off the live traffic. It will descend. We are essentially in our... I mean, it's a small airport, so it's not like a jetliner is going to land there. We're in our approach phase, essentially, because this is all we got left to do. And for whatever reason, in the system, it thinks that I am farther back in my flight and need to be at 17,000 feet. This has been an ongoing problem in the flight sim. ATC just it goes like we were cruising at 16. It said go to 18, so I go to 18, and it says go back down to 16, and then it goes back up to 18. It's this insane, like it just doesn't make any sense. And so what I found is you just have to kind of wait it out, and it'll eventually give up. It's just going to be a bit annoying because ATC is going to keep telling us to go to 17,000. But as we get closer to that point there, which is that point, Muka, then it'll finally kind of come to its senses, as I like to call it. But it's just going to be a bit annoying. It's just a problem with the software, I think, for air traffic control. But I turned off the live traffic because what was happening in a lot of flights, you would have an AI plane that would land but then sit on the runway, and so you would be forced into this continuing loop of go around because it wouldn't clear the plane off the runway. Or you would have somebody on approach an AI plane on approach that was not paying attention, as I call it, and would not line up properly. So it would just cause all kinds of problems. There's just all these problems with it that just don't make sense. You know, I guess for a software developer it would, but yeah, I try to avoid all that to try to make things a little bit easier, but there's still all these issues, and I don't know why. Other than it's just something is not right with the program itself. So I've learned to, at first I did it, I was like, okay, I'll go, because I'm thinking, oh my god, there's something seriously wrong. But I just ignore it, and eventually it sorts itself out. But there's like this weird glitch or something that the ATC seems to think that I need to be way up higher at a cruise altitude as we're getting ready to land. You know, and if we had the live traffic on or something, oh, look at the color in the clouds, look at that. Where else do you get this kind of fun? Then, yeah, I would say it's a very distinct possibility, but then I would feel like we're preparing for an endless loop of go-around. But even then, I don't think this airport is pretty small, so I don't think there's necessarily go-around procedures. Let me look. Let me pull up the chart. So there is go-around procedures. If we miss our approach, go to KI 554, turn left, direct to Banta, and hold at 3000, contact Kikai radio. So There is a go-around procedure, but we're not going to go around. We're going to land this thing. It's just... This has been an ongoing problem. Yeah. I don't understand. Well, it's not necessarily Microsoft. It's a Sobo. See? There we go. It was just a matter of time, but we'll look at how many times they tell us to go to 17,000, and then it finally clicked in the system to say, oh, you need to be at 3,000 feet now. We're going to have to expedite that, kind of. We'll get that done so that we can... Let's go ahead and get our flaps down a little bit so we start slowing down. Yeah, but it's just... Then you get... And I've done it where I've landed when there's no... Clearly there's no plane on the runway. It's just that the system thinks that there's one because it's an AI plane. And then you land, and then you're like, oh, you didn't have landing clearance. You were supposed to go around. And then you don't get the... it's like you won't even get your taxi to your parking spot or to the gate kind of stuff. It's just, it causes all kinds of issues. I think that the problem is that they have these ideas, but for whatever reason, something doesn't work. And I think they're kind of perplexed as how to fix it. Because as we've seen before in many games, you fix one problem, then it causes another problem. And then you fix that problem, then you have to, it's an ongoing process. Until they finally get it sorted. It seemed like they had gotten it sorted, but now something has been brought back that is causing this problem to creep back up again. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's that they're testing something or if they're waiting for people to start to complain that the ATC is getting stupid again. I don't know. It's very difficult to determine what it is that's happening. So, anyway. I wish I knew, because I don't quite understand it myself. Alright, there's our airport. They're off to the right, off to the starboard side if we want to use the nautical terms. Let's go ahead and zoom this out again. There we go. Yeah, like for a while everything was fine. But it's, for some reason, something gets introduced again. I don't know how, because I didn't have any updates this morning, but it's just something, for whatever reason, something just doesn't work. And I don't quite know what it is or how. I just ignore it and get on with it, because eventually it will kick in. That I need to be at 3,000 feet and all that. Taxiing the runway. My taxi lines were all over the place. It's like they get it correct and then slowly over. Yeah. So I just it gets annoying in the because it will just keep saying it. The only option I have is to turn off the ATC voice. But my concern then is if I'm not paying attention to the screen in front of me and I don't see instructions, then I'm gonna miss something. So I have to have the voice on so that I have that audio cue, like, hey, you got to be prepared for this. You need to be here for this. You need to be at this altitude and all that. Because if I'm looking at the chat and I'm not looking at the screen, I'm going to miss something. So, unfortunately, it just gets to be a bit much. I don't think you can actually turn ATC off. I just know you can disable the live traffic. If I was on the PC, I could probably use VatSim or SimBrief or something like that, where it would override the in-game ATC. But since I'm on the Xbox, I don't have those options. So anyway, well, we are make one more turn. Well, we're on a turn. We'll just keep turning. Kind of, sort of. Doesn't seem like we are, but there we go. Now it's turning. So we will prepare. As a matter of fact, we'll go ahead and get the gear down. So that's already done. Put the taxi light on too. Why not? We are a well-lit plane. Nice sunset landing here. Good flight overall. Hopefully everybody is enjoying it. Yeah, I know what you mean, Augie. I'm waiting for it as well, because I was really looking forward to getting that, but yeah, there just seems to be a lot of problems, unfortunately. And yeah, I think that's the Xbox market now. The Xbox players themselves, it's put a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths about the future of the sim on the Xbox, I think. We're going to get our last bit of flaps now, since we're already kind of lining up.
10 more 237 descend and maintain 1,200 feet. Keep speed not above 210 knots.
Descend and maintain 1,200 feet. Keep speed not above 210 knots. Kenworth 237.
Alright, come on. That's the difficult part, is it's so easy to get off. Oops. Also, get my settings correct. Yeah, I know, Augie. I am right there with you, man. I am right there with you. It is a problem, and I wish they get it sorted, because I will get everything set, and then all of a sudden it's like, nope. It's like I gotta start from scratch, and then I have to resave it all. So yeah. Yeah, I agree. All right, let me.
And maintain 1,500 feet.
Climb and maintain 1,500 feet. Kenworth 237.
I don't get it. Why would you have me go to 12? Alright, we should get one more altimeter reading as we turn into the airport here. Why does it seem like we're... Wow. It seems like we are way off our mark. What in the bloody hell is going on here? It's like it's not even trying to correct itself to line up. Alright, we gotta turn off everything. Turn off the nav. I gotta take this myself now. Goodness gracious. It wasn't even like keeping us on track.
Kenmore 237, you are 7 miles northeast of Romeo Juliet, Kilo India.
Kenmore 237. Romeo Juliet Kilo India traffic Kenmore 237 7 miles northeast inbound RNAV runway 25. Romeo Juliet Kilo India traffic Kenmore 237 is on final runway 25 to land.
So we don't even have a tower here. Awesome. Alright. I will kind of keep my TV, Augie. Alright, I gotta focus on here now. I'm sorry. Since we've had some... I'm not trying to be rude. I can't look at the questions and all that, so I like to try to get this done. Wow, this seems like we are way off our line here. That's very odd. Oh, that's all right. We're going to land it ourselves. We had the lines. Where'd they go? Wind is really wreaking havoc. Man, look at that. Goodness gracious. Well, at least we got a kind of a nighttime approach here. I should have dialed the time back just a bit more so we would have a nice... Alright, there we go. There we are. Woo! On behalf of myself and First Officer Bex, we'd like to welcome you to Kikai. Local time is, I think, 9 o'clock in the evening. We know that you have many options when it comes to your Microsoft Flight Simulator viewing pleasures. We are glad that you chose to fly with us today. Be back tomorrow, 7:47, from Heathrow to New York. The New Year's Eve long-haul flight. We're just going to pull in right here, because that's where we would end up anyway. We will say we are clear of runway, and we'll pull into a parking spot, call it a day.
Romeo Juliet Kilo India traffic Kenmore 237 is clear of the runway.
So yeah, the golf course, you can't see it really, but there is a golf course right there behind us on that side of the airfield. But this is the little airport here. Oh, thank you, Mela. Tip of the cap to First Officer Bex. Nice to have you all along. Here is our little airport.
Romeo Juliet Kilo India traffic Kenmore 237 is clear of the runway. Romeo Juliet Kilo India traffic Kenmore 237 is clear of the runway.
Boy, I cannot get this thing to turn. It's like it wants to just go all over the place. Once I get enough throttle going. Oh, I see why. I'm on the wrong side here. I'm supposed to come the other way. Man, I don't know why the brakes are sticking or something. Can't get the, like, I want to get the plane moving, but it's like it's got its own mind. Try to get this resituated a little bit better. Hold on a second. This is Kikai. Yes, it's been updated, so it's got more correct building placements and lighting and all that, so it has been updated. I can't think of my TV settings. I just set it to gaming, I think, or something. I don't remember what, to be honest. I never really paid attention to it. But it is a 32-inch flat screen, 720p, but I'm broadcasting on 1080p. So that may be why it's, and you're watching it on Twitch, so it's everything looks a lot better on Twitch than it would on YouTube, for sure. Man, this thing is really touchy. I cannot get this thing to turn. I went in a... Alright, we're just going to stop right there. Screw it. Otherwise, we're going to be... It'll be all day. Let's turn off our... Let's just stop everything right here. Turn off our avionics master. There we go. All right. There we are. 2 hours and 10 minutes of flying. I did lose some flying time. It deleted my flight from Miami to Guatemala. I lost those hours for some reason, so I don't know what happened. But anyway, that is going to be it for today, folks. I got to get out of here, go get my shopping done, and so we are prepared for tomorrow's flight. I will see you all then. Please join if you can. Everybody's welcome. That will be it for today. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your last Thursday of 2021. I will see you all tomorrow. Peace. Live long and prosper.